Saturn square Sun Synastry is a difficult aspect. I experienced this with my ex-boyfriend. It was one of the hardest relationships I ever had. I was Saturn, my partner was Sun. Here is my story. I met my Sun partner in college, but I did not pay him much attention. He was short, slim, and goofy. At the time, I was dating a basketball star and was attracted to the lifestyle of fun vacation, shopping sprees, and fine dining. 5 years later, while I was starting a freelance career and collecting unemployment, I ran into my Sun partner at a party. He recognized me and I asked if we went to the same school. I replied affirmatively. Still not paying attention to him, my best friend at the time was engaging in an in-depth conversation with him. After mingling with others at the party, I glanced at him and I felt compelled to engage further. I redirected his attention from my best friend and inquired about his hobbies and career. Adopting a flirtatious demeanor, I asked for his number. There was an undeniable instant attraction between us, and I found myself unable to stop thinking about him that night. I called him the very next day and invited him out on a date. I was determined and motivated. His reaction was one of shock. He believed I was out of his league. However, I viewed him as a potential partner despite our differing career situations. I was freelancing while he had a more stable career. Nonetheless, my attraction to him remained strong. I sensed in him he is going to be the one to love me the way I want to be loved. After some back and forth, we finally went on our date. However, he was exuding friendly vibes. At the end of the date, I asked him if he was even attracted to me. He said yes, but he wanted to be respectful. I told him he did not have to be respectful because I liked him. I don't know why, but I was instantly attracted to him and I wanted more of him. We ended up going to his place and hooked up a little bit. We parted ways that night and I was activated. I was addicted to him. We tried to play it cool. We would call each other to ask what we were doing and try to see each other all the time. My friends were annoyed at the situation because my friends realized I would rather hang out with him than with my own friends. The first couple of months of our relationship was enjoyable. We celebrated holidays together, we traveled, and experienced a lot of great times together. We solidified our relationship within a couple of weeks. I needed him and wanted every aspect of him. I started exerting control from the very beginning. I tried to manage every aspect of our relationship. I would manipulate him for him to spend more time with me. I also would play the distance push-pull card to emphasize his dependence on me. In some aspects, I felt that I was better than him and that he was lucky to have me. Despite my unemployment and his steady career, he remained steady with me. I projected a sense of importance and value onto him. As we got deeper into the relationship, I relied on his love to fill the void of my profound insecurities. My life currently at that time was directionless, but having him by my side gave me a semblance of stability and control. We both provided for each other, indulged in each other's company. We mutually spoiled and nurtured our bond. My need for him was profound, and he reciprocated by cherishing my affection. Our connection went beyond mere infatuation. It bordered obsession. I started to become more strict in a relationship. He started comparing me to his mother due to my serious nature. I felt compelled to mold him into someone more aligned with my ideals. There were certain aspects of him where I thought that were lacking. I went on a mission to improve him to meet the standards I was accustomed to. He wasn't tall, nor did he work out, but he did have the same passionate qualities my previous partners had. For some reason, I just felt like I had to polish him. All my efforts directed towards him detracted from my own personal growth. I started to dress him. I tried to get him a personal trainer. I improved his resume to get better jobs. And he followed and became better. Under my guidance, he started to flourish and bright shinier than when I first met him. Eventually, I started to resent him. I resented his achievements and recognition I facilitated for him. Despite his progress, he remained within the sphere of my influence, a dynamic I found comfort in. However, internally, I was dying inside. I felt stagnant and discontent with my own life. I tried to invest in myself and do self-improvement, but I felt trapped to support him. I gained weight. I could not get out of bed. I was depressed. I hated myself. He was my only life force. He was radiant, and I struggled to find that within myself. In public, we were both well received, but it seemed that he always needed more validation. It started to turn into a competition, and I found his need for attention annoying and frustrating. He did ask one time, why don't I let him be? I just responded that he's immature and attention-seeking. His childish ways just got on my nerves. Then he would accuse me of just being jealous of him. Was he right? Under my guidance, he continued to excel. And he could be right. I was jealous. I was jealous of his family, his social connections, his relationships with mentors. I felt like I didn't have any of that. This caused me to exert more control over him. I became codependent and manipulated even more. On top of that, I started to resent him even more. I don't know why I was doing it. It seemed like a reflex, deeply ingrained within me. It felt like I was living a pattern that I experienced from childhood from my own mother. When he confronted me, I could not even find a reason why I couldn't break that cycle. But I continued to cling onto him like he was my lifeline, filling the empty void in me. I could not shake this emptiness within myself. I felt like I owed him, and every action that I did was justifiable because it was to help him. He left me. I was devastated. I couldn't get out of bed for a month. I lost 10 pounds. He got a new girlfriend, and I was officially defeated. Over time, I was able to piece myself together. I learned about karmic and fated relationship. I learned about past life relationship, and I came to the conclusion that this was one of them. A learning lesson for both of us. This relationship shattered my soul, but I was able to pick up the pieces and come back to life. Even though I still don't understand or comprehend the grip that relationship had on me, but I vowed I will never treat another human being like that again. I still feel shameful and even a little guilty. Those deep-rooted insecurities ruined our relationship. The hold I had on him stemmed from fear. While I was uplifting him, there was a deep-seated fear of him leaving me. Those fears materialized. If I was simply transparent with him, we could have navigated it differently. My ego, pride, and need for control were more important to me than building a stronger foundation. Though we were utterly miserable, our bond was so deep, and neither of us for a long time could not shake it. We were trapped. But I do have to say he did try. He would plan trips, picnics, time with friends. But I felt the need to exert power and control and dominance in every aspect of our relationship and everything that we did. I was selfish, resentful, and jealous of his positive demeanor. It's like I hated him for loving me. Though this was years ago and we are both in a better place, I will never forget him, and I don't think he will ever forget me. It was magnetic and forceful. However, I will never want to experience that again. In every fiber of my being, I felt possessed. The power games, the power plays, manipulation, struggles, the hate, never again. It took me years to get over him and worked really hard on my own insecurities. Eventually, I started to light up like he did. Then I became the sun opposite to someone's Saturn, but that's a story for another day. Have you experienced this aspect in a relationship?